is important to note here and say again that they are the only people who have heard and examined every witness and every piece of evidence. They discussed and debated the evidence among themselves before arriving at their collective decision. After their exhaustive review of the evidence, the grand jury deliberated over 2 days, making their final decision. They determined that no probable cause exists to file any charge against Officer Wilson and returned a no true bill on each of the 5 indictments.
This was an encounter about a very minor crime. Eric Garner was selling so-called loosies, loose cigarettes.
Single cigarettes.
Right, individual cigarettes, not pot, actual cigarettes, and they're not taxed. And the store owners in the area, they don't like it, so they ask the cops, tell people to knock this off. This was what Eric Garner was arrested for, selling these untaxed cigarettes. As I say, a very, very minor crime. The confrontation escalated, and there were arms around his neck, and he died. I do think this was a surprising decision. I didn't hear all the evidence in the grand jury. I didn't hear the officer's testimony, so I don't want to say that this was a clearly incorrect decision. But given the facts that were available, and given the fact that Eric Garner, who did very little wrong, if anything wrong, this very minor crime, wound up dying, it's surprising.
The video shows that Tamir Rice was gunned down less than 2 seconds after this police cruiser arrived.
Shots fired, male down, black male, maybe 20, black revolver.
But that was no adult. It was a 12-year-old child, and his weapon, a toy pellet gun that looked like the real thing. Deputy Chief Edward Tomba said they are still investigating why the officers pulled up so close and then opened fire almost immediately. He added Rice ignored 3 commands to put his hands up.
We've got 2 officers that were out there protecting the public that just had to, do something that nobody wants to do.
We're a nation in deep need of retrospection, patience, questioning, and in the end being forced to make some very difficult decisions after having some very difficult conversations. The 3 incidents here are all tied together with a common thread of white police officers killing unarmed black males. On that, there should be absolutely no discussion. It happened. 3 people are dead at the hands of law enforcement. Now comes the difficult part of the discussion, and the similarities ending. The Ferguson case is now an open book for everyone to see, read, and in many cases to twist in order to fit an agenda. So let's be brutally honest here. Michael Brown committed a crime, strong-arm robbery. The evidence and multiple witnesses told a corroborating and provable story. He certainly did not deserve to die over a stolen box of mini cigars, but he foolishly and purposefully placed himself in the situation that led to his death. Anyone who tells you a different narrative is not telling you the truth. Eric Garner was a petty crook whose worst offense was selling cigarettes without the New York State tax seal. A nothing crime, something that should warrant a citation. And in the heat of the moment, multiple police officers descended on him. One officer using what many, but not all, law enforcement pros will tell you was a chokehold. Garner died from a severe neck compression, aided by his asthma, heart disease, and obesity. But he didn't deserve to die for selling smokes in a city where small amounts of marijuana are now legal. He did put himself in the situation that led to his death, but did nothing to warrant such street adjudication. Tamir Rice was a 12-year-old playing with a toy gun, maybe trying to show off in his neighborhood, a fake gun that had been altered, and a quick glance looks exactly like the real thing. A case with a video, as with Garner, speaks volumes. The difficult part of this discussion is only just beginning, the one where we need to be honest about all facets of what happened, understand and accept where responsibility lies for all involved, and never stop fighting to ensure justice is carried out. The key, no matter the color of the skin involved. Again, it is a matter of telling the truth, sometimes brutal, but we must face it and face it now. And that is telling it like it is. You want to tell us what you think about this? We'd love to hear from you. Send us your ideas, your thoughts as well. On Twitter, hashtag MidPointTV, email newsmaxtv.com, and on Facebook, tell us what you think about what I've just said and what's happening in America right now at MidPoint TV. And MidPoint continues.